Hello friends, I welcome all of you on my YouTube channel, that is Pauline Gandhi, which is on medical biochemistry. Today we see the topic that is of beta oxidation of saturated fatty acids. Okay, so that is a part of lipid metabolism. We have seen for the lipid chemistry, we have seen for the digestion and absorption of lipids, and then now we are starting with the oxidation of fatty acid, that is the metabolism. Okay, so the beta oxidation of saturated fatty acid, as we all know, saturated fatty acid can be of even chain or the odd chain. So first we start with the oxidation of even chain fatty acid, and then we will see just only difference between even and odd chain. Whenever you are asked or you learn about any metabolic pathway, you must learn under this heading. Okay, so first start with the introduction. So introduction will include the definition of that particular pathway. If is there any particular names of that particular pathway, then it includes the highlights of that particular pathway or any use of that particular pathway. Okay, so that must be written in the introduction. Then you have to write about the site. Site, that is mainly the intracellular. Okay, in which part of the cell the pathway is operating. Just for example, whether in mitochondria, whether it is in nucleus, whether it is in endoplasmic reticulum, whether it is in cytoplasm, so you have to write the intracellular site. Apart from that, you have to also write the site in term of organ. If some pathway are just operating in the liver, then you have to write these pathways only operated in the liver. So site may be in the terms of intracellular site as well as the organelle site. Then you have to write the preparatory steps, the steps which are required for the starting of particular pathway. Then you have to write the heart of the topic, that is the pathway of that particular metabolism. Then you have to write the energetics. Energetics include ATP generation or ATP utilization. Okay, whatever it is, you have to write in the energetic part. Then you have to write the regulations, which include key enzyme, which include compartmentalization, which includes cofactor, co-metals, which may be the substrate can be the regulator, product may be the regulator, so that those all things must be enumerated in the regulation portion. For this particular topic, we will also see the oxidation of odd chain fatty acid. And lastly, you have to write the clinical disorder of that particular pathway. So these are the headings which must be learned when you see any of the metabolic pathway in the biochemistry. So starting with the introduction of beta oxidation. So this process is known as the beta oxidation because the oxidation and the splitting of two carbon unit occurs at the beta carbon. This is the structure of any fatty acid, right? And this is the beta carbon. So oxidation will occur at the beta position, and then splitting of two carbon atoms will also occur at a beta position. That's why it is known as the beta oxidation. The oxidation of fatty acid occurs by sequential cleavage of two carbon atoms. So it will remove two carbon atoms sequentially until the whole fatty acid is oxidized. So that is about the introduction. Next is site. So this is a pathway which is purely operated in the mitochondria of the cell, and almost all the organs will operate beta oxidation of fatty acid. Now the preparatory steps. So as we all know, fatty acids are generally present in the cytoplasm, right? And this pathway is operated in the mitochondria. So for that, fatty acid has to enter into the mitochondria from the cytoplasm. So fatty acid cannot enter directly into mitochondria. Okay, so for that there are few steps which are required for the transportation of fatty acid from the cytoplasm to the mitochondria. So first step, that is the activation of fatty acid. So of course the fatty acids are present in the cytoplasm, so this step is taking place in the cytoplasm. Fatty acids are activated by the coenzyme A. So coenzyme A will bind with the help of enzyme thiokinase. Thio, that is a thio group, that is CoA. Okay, and kinase, whenever you see the term kinase in the enzyme as a suffix, that means there is either utilization of ATPs or energy or either release of energy. So kinase indicates the reaction related to the energy, and thio, that is thio group. So that's why the name of the enzyme, that is thiokinase, and two high energy bonds are utilized in this reaction. We just see that. So first step, that is activation of fatty acid. In that, fatty acid which is present in the cytoplasm will be converted to fatty acyl CoA with the enzyme thiokinase. As I told, kinase, that means that is a utilization of energy. So ATP will be converted to AMP plus pyrophosphate. Okay, so two high energy bonds are utilized in the activation of fatty acid. This reaction has been occurred in the cytoplasm. Next step in the preparation, that will be the transfer of this activated fatty acid. So once the fatty acid is activated, now we have to transfer this fatty acid from the cytoplasm to the mitochondria. They cannot travel easily, right? So they required some carrier protein. So these long chain fatty acid can't pass through the inner mitochondrial membrane. So carnitine, that will be the transporter for the transfer of these activated fatty acids. So what is carnitine? It is beta hydroxy gamma trimethyl ammonium butyrate. So this is one type of peptide which is synthesized from the lysine and the methionine, and they are mainly produced in the liver in small amount in the kidney. So once the fatty acid is activated, they will be converted to acyl carnitine with the help of carnitine acyl transferase 1, that is the enzyme. Okay, so carnitine acyl transferase 1 will form the acyl carnitine, that I will just show you in the later slide. And then the protein translocase will carry this acyl carnitine across the membrane, and once they will reach the mitochondria, the CAT2 will transfer the acyl group back to the coenzyme A, and again the fatty acyl CoA is formed, and the carnitine will be released back by the translocase into the cytoplasm. We are just revising it. So this is first step, that is activation of fatty acid. Next step will be with the help of carnitine and the enzyme carnitine acyl transferase 1, carnitine. Okay, that means this peptide. Okay, acyl, that is transfer of acyl. So that's why the name of enzyme is carnitine acyl transferase 1. So carnitine will be transferred to the acyl, so it will form the fatty acyl carnitine. Now this molecule can easily enter into the mitochondrial membrane with the help of enzyme translocase, okay, which is embedded in the mitochondrial membrane. So now fatty acyl carnitine has entered into the mitochondria. Once it reaches the mitochondria, again the fatty acyl carnitine will be converted to fatty acyl CoA with the help of CAT2. So again the carnitine will be released from this molecule, and the fatty acyl CoA has formed. So this fatty acyl CoA, with the help of carnitine, CAT1, CAT2 and the translocase, has been transferred to the mitochondria, and now this carnitine, this fatty acyl CoA is ready for the beta oxidation, and this carnitine will go back into the cytoplasm. Okay, so this is how the activation of fatty acid will occur, and this is how the transport of fatty acid will occur across the membrane. So these steps are known as the preparatory steps. Now we move further to the main pathway, that is of beta oxidation. So this pathway consists of 4 sequential reactions, okay, that will be repeated for complete oxidation of fatty acid. At the end of one cycle of 4 steps, one molecule of acetyl CoA is formed and one molecule of acyl CoA. Just remember what is acetyl CoA and what is acyl CoA. So acetyl CoA, that is the fatty acid which contains 2 carbon, and acyl CoA, that is a fatty acid with any number of carbon, that is a acyl. So one molecule of acetyl CoA is formed and one molecule of acyl CoA with 2 carbon less is generated. So at the end of one cycle, 2 molecules are generated, and these would undergo same series of reactions. These cycles will be repeated until the whole molecule fatty acid is oxidized. Okay. So first step in the cycle, that is FAD linked dehydrogenase. Okay. So the fatty acyl CoA is dehydrogenated to a trans-enol CoA with the FAD accepting the hydrogen atoms, and this molecule, as the name of reaction, it is catalyzed by the fatty acyl CoA dehydrogenase, and this FADH2 will enter in the electron transport chain, and that we all know it will produce 2 ATP. So this is the first step. So now the fatty acid molecule in the form of fatty acyl CoA has entered into the mitochondria, and in the first step, that is FAD link dehydrogenation, the name of enzyme, that is acyl CoA dehydrogenase, and with the help of FAD it will produce trans-enol CoA and also generating the FADH2. Dehydrogenase, that means the reaction which is related to either FAD, either NAD or either NADP. Okay, so that is known as the dehydrogenation, that is just transfer of hydrogen. So in this reaction, this is an example of palmitic acid, that is 16 carbon compound, right? So in this you can see that with the help of dehydrogenation, these 2 hydrogen molecules are removed. It has formed FADH2, and now the trans-enol CoA is formed. Okay, so this is the first step in the beta oxidation. Next step will be the hydration. This is catalyzed by the enzyme hydratase, and the molecule which is formed, that is beta hydroxy fatty acyl CoA. Okay, so first enol CoA was formed, then hydroxy CoA is formed, and that is in the form of L isomer. So in the second step, with the help of hydratase, there is the formation of hydroxyl acyl CoA. Here you can see that is the formation of, there is a breakdown of double bond, right? There is the addition of H2O, and these bonds is broken down, and it has formed the L-hydroxy acyl CoA. Be remember, in hydration there may be 2 enzymes. One is hydrolase and second one is hydratase. What is the difference between these two? This is hydrolase and this is hydratase. What is difference between these two? Hydrolase will cause the breakdown of molecule by breaking the bonds, whereas hydratase just only breaks the double bonds, not the molecule. Okay, that is the difference between hydratase and hydrolase. Third step, that is just like FAD, the third step will be the NAD plus dependent dehydrogenase. So enzyme which is used, that is again hydroxy fatty acyl dehydrogenase. The molecule which is formed, that is keto fatty acyl CoA, and the NADH will be produced, which will enter into the electron transport chain, and again that will produce the 3 ATPs. So in the third step, hydroxy acyl CoA will be converted to keto acyl CoA with the enzyme NAD linked dehydrogenation. The NAD will be converted to NADH, which can produce 3 ATPs in the electron transport chain. So this is the third step. When we talk about the palmitic acid, again you can see that there is a removal of these two. Okay, these 2 hydrogens are removed, so there is the formation of keto group. That's why it is known as keto acyl CoA, and NAD will be converted to NADH. Okay, and last step, that is a thiolytic cleavage. So this keto acyl CoA undergoes thiolytic cleavage, and one molecule of acetyl CoA is formed and one molecule of acyl CoA is formed with 2 carbon atom less than the parent compound. Okay, so in the next step, step 4, with the help of thio group, there is a breakdown of molecule, right? Whenever word lase will come, that means there is a breakdown of molecule. Okay, and the prefix will show which molecule is used for the breakdown of this molecule. Just for example, thiolase, that means thio group is used for the breakdown of this molecule. Sometimes we hear hydrolase, so that is a water molecule which is used for the breakdown of molecule. We hear phosphorylase, that means phosphorus group is used for the breakdown of that particular molecule. So here the thiolase, that means the thio group is added, and it has formed one molecule of acetyl-CoA, which is a 2-carbon compound, and one molecule of acyl-CoA, which is 2 carbon less compared to the parent compound. Okay, so when we talk about the palmitic acid, it will form one molecule of acetyl-CoA and one molecule of acyl-CoA of 14 carbon compound. Okay, this is known as a myristal-CoA. So once these 4 steps are completed, this 14 carbon compound will, this acyl-CoA will again repeat these 4 steps. Again it forms the second molecule of acetyl-CoA and form the one molecule of acyl-CoA, which is again more 2 carbon less. Again it will enter into the series of reactions. Again it will form the acetyl-CoA until the complete fatty acid molecule will be oxidized. So this step 1, step 3, 2, 3 and 4 are repeated until the whole fatty acid molecule is oxidized. So when we talk about the palmitic acid, it is a 16 carbon compound. These cycles will be repeated for 6 more times. This is the first one, and then the 14 carbon compound is formed, then again it will enter, so it will repeated 4 more 6 times. So total 7 cycles will be required for the complete oxidation of palmitic acid, which is of 16 carbon compound. Next in the topic, that is energetic of beta oxidation. So as we all know, beta oxidation will be the energy generating pathway from the lipids, right? Same as glycolysis in the carbohydrate. So beta oxidation will produce the ATPs. So first, for the activation of fatty acid, as we have seen, 2 high energy bonds were utilized. Then the FADH2 will generate 2 ATPs when it enters into the electron transport chain. This NADH molecule will produce 3 ATPs when it enters into the electron transport chain, and this acetyl-CoA, when it is completely oxidized in the TCA cycle, it will generate the 12 ATPs. Okay, so when we talk about the palmitic acid, okay, that is a 16 carbon compound. So for activation of palmitic acid, 2 ATPs were utilized. Okay, once it has entered into the mitochondria, it undergoes this reaction for the first time. So it will form the 14 carbon compound and one molecule of acetyl-CoA. This 14 carbon compound again enter into the series of reaction. It will form the second molecule of acetyl-CoA and 12 carbon compound. So likewise, 12 carbon and one molecule of acetyl-CoA again re-enter in the series of reaction. Then it will form 10 carbon compound. Then successively it will form 8 carbon, 6 carbon, 4 carbon. At the last it will form the 2 molecule of acetyl-CoA. So for palmitic acid, these series of reactions are repeated for the 7 times. So 7 FADH2 molecule are formed, which will generate the 14 ATPs. 7 NADH molecule are formed, which will generate the 21 ATPs, and 7 acetyl-CoA plus this one. So total 8 molecule of acetyl-CoA will form, and it will generate the 96 ATPs. So total 131 ATPs are produced when palmitic acid is oxidized. And we have seen that in the activation of palmitic acid, 2 high energy bonds are utilized. So net energy yielding will be 129 ATPs. That means complete oxidation of palmitic acid will produce the 129 ATPs. Regulation, so availability of free fatty acid, that is the one of the regulatory factor for the operation of beta oxidation. Second one, that is a glucagon-insulin ratio. Glucagon increases the free fatty acid level. That's why it promotes the beta oxidation. And the key enzyme of this pathway, that is CAT1, carnitine acyltransferase 1, which is required for the transportation of activated fatty acid from the cytoplasm to the mitochondria. Okay, so these are the regulatory factors for the beta oxidation. So this is about the beta oxidation of even chain fatty acid. Now what is the difference in the odd chain fatty acid? We just have a look. So odd chain fatty acid oxidize exactly in the same manner as even chain fatty acid. Okay, it is just the same, but as they are odd, at last it will produce one molecule of 3 carbon unit compound, that is propionyl CoA. Okay, whereas in the even chain they are just producing acetyl CoA because they are even chain. But in odd chain fatty acid, at last they will produce one molecule of propionyl CoA, that is a 3 carbon compound fatty acid. So now we have to see the fate of this propionyl CoA. So what happened to this propionyl CoA? This propionyl CoA will be converted to, which is of 3 carbon compound, right? This will be converted to 4 carbon compound, that is D-methylmalonyl CoA, that is known as carboxylation of propionyl CoA. The enzyme which is used, that is propionyl carboxylase. We remember, for the carboxylation, the biotin is the vitamin which is utilized. It uses the ATPs. It also uses the CO2 because it is the reaction of carboxylation. So it will form D-methylmalonyl CoA. This D-methyl cannot be acted upon by the other enzymes, so it should be converted to L-methyl, that is with the help of enzyme racemase. So it just change the configuration of methyl group from the D to the L, which will form the L-methylmalonyl CoA, and this L-methylmalonyl CoA will be converted to into, these two are the branch chain, right? And these will be converted into the straight chain 4 carbon fatty acid, that is succinyl CoA, which is with the help of vitamin B12, especially adenosyl, and the enzyme which is required, that is mutase. Okay, so this branch chain will be converted to the straight chain compound. Okay, so propionyl CoA, that is a 3 carbon compound, will be converted to the 4 carbon compound, that is succinyl CoA, which will enter into the TCA cycle, and it is the one of the glucogenic compound. So this is the propionyl CoA is the only fatty acid which can considered as a glucogenic. Otherwise fatty acid cannot produce glucose, right? So that is the fate of propionyl CoA. So in odd chain oxidation, the one molecule of propionyl CoA will be formed at last, and this is how it is degraded. Now the clinical condition which is related to beta oxidation. First thing, that is the deficiency of carnitine. So as we all know, carnitine is one type of peptide, so it requires the amino acids. So causes of that is a premature infant. If there is a renal leakage of protein, patient undergoes hemodialysis. If the patient is of protein energy malnutrition, the carnitine cannot form sufficiently. Okay, what can be the clinical feature of that? It can produce hypoketotic hypoglycemia because fatty acid cannot be utilized for the energy. So it will produce attacks of hypoglycemia, it can produce hyperammonemia, fatty acid cannot be oxidized properly, so there will be accumulation of free fatty acid, and ultimately it will cause the weakness, muscular weakness, vomiting and lethargy. What is the pathophysiology of that? If carnitine is deficient, as we all know, long chain fatty acid cannot transport across the mitochondrial membrane without the carrier protein, that is carnitine, right? So in the deficiency of carnitine, long chain fatty acid cannot be utilized by the body, and only treatment for the carnitine deficiency, that is oral carnitine therapy. And second clinical condition, that is a group of disease that is known as organic aciduria, which can occur due to deficiency of nutritional deficiency, that is B12, or the genetic deficiency, that is deficiency of mutase. Okay, so this is mutase, this is B12. If they are not, B12 is not sufficient and mutase is genetically abnormal, then L-methyl cannot be converted to succinyl-CoA, so there will be the accumulation of methylmalonic acid which will be excreted in the urine, which is known as methylmalonic aciduria. Then there is a deficiency of propionyl-CoA carboxylase, so this reaction won't be happened, so that's why there will be accumulation of propionyl-CoA which will form the propionic aciduria. Okay, and if there is a deficiency of medium chain fatty acid dehydrogenase, long chain fatty acid dehydrogenase, or short chain fatty acid dehydrogenase, that particular fatty acid cannot be oxidized, and ultimately that will be converted to aciduria. Okay, so all these deficiency will produce organic aciduria. Only treatment for that, if you are suffering from genetic abnormality, you have to do the diet modification. That particular type of fatty acid must be avoided in the diet. If you are nutritionally deficient, just for example you are deficient in biotin, you are deficient in vitamin B12, you can give the nutritive supplements and thereby you can correct the organic aciduria. So this is all about the beta oxidation of saturated fatty acid, that is even chain and also a odd chain. Okay, so hope you understand it very easily. So kindly subscribe our YouTube channel, that is Paulin Gandhi, and if you have any query regarding medical biochemistry, you can email us on powtalk@gmail.com.